Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Shauna Elle Howard, and I have the esteemed pleasure of introducing you to Miss Erica Elle. Erica Elle is an esteemed community leader and financial professional. Under Erica's leadership as president, her cycling organization, Level Up Cycling Movement, has delivered over 400 trainings to beginner cyclists, curated over 10 cycling events, including Pedal with the Pros in Miami, a rider experience that exposes the toughest neighborhoods to pro cyclists, and has given away 150 bikes to children in surrounding communities, all while personally mentoring new leaders of cycling clubs around the country. Erica has created and launched Chocolate Pedals, a woman's ride experience, providing a safe place to nurture, connect, and celebrate women who seek out the tools of cycling in order to transform their new lives and the lives of their families for over 100 Black women. In 2019, she became the first Black UCI professional rider agent and launched Erica Elle's Pro Table Talk, providing a platform for minority racers to connect within their communities and fans by sharing their truths. In December, she released her first children's book, Erica's Super Bike Racer, that is currently being sold in many countries around the world. In all that she does, Erica's mission is to build space, community, and equity for women and minorities in cycling, and be an inspiration to all those who uncover the fullness of their potential. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Erica Elle.
I see that video, I relive the magic of Chocolate Pedals. I relive every beginner cyclist at Chocolate Pedals and their experience to feel nurtured, their opportunity to connect with other women, and then they take that energy, that confidence, and they apply it to their lives. They apply it to their goals, and they just transform their families. They transform the communities around them. So I want to thank you guys for Rasan Bahati, AllClubs LA, Bahati Foundation, and Methods to Winning for inviting me to be here and to share a piece of my heart with all of you. And I disagree with Glenn when he said you guys look raunchy on the bike. You're actually pretty clean on the bike, especially here in LA. So I expected nothing short of that when it was time to get clean for the evening. So you guys, you look good. You all look really good. We are transforming into a time where cycling has now begun to embrace women. When I first came into the sport about 6 years ago, wasn't that long ago, many of us didn't exist. And when I learned a little bit more about pro cycling, it just wasn't a great environment for women to be racing, especially on the world tour and a professional level. And right now, I can see, and you guys should be able to see, all of the transformation that's going on around you. So I encourage you men, as well as women in influential places, to continue to step up and get behind supporting each other and supporting women and their initiatives in cycling. These women at Chocolate Pedals, they went on to create their own rides. It's one Chocolate Pedal that put on a century ride for women. There's another one that put on a half a century for women. So they go on and continue the mission of Chocolate Pedals. They are a product of an environment that we created intentionally. I, myself, am a product of a bubble. So I want to tell you guys a story about a bubble. When I first began riding as a brand new cyclist, I did the typical bop around to different clubs, bop around to different rides to kind of see where I fit in, what made sense for me, where I felt comfortable. That was pretty a discouraging process for me. I was fortunate enough to find a handful of really good, solid people who was passionate about the sport. We began to jump around to different rides. And no matter how hard the ride got, how windy it was, no matter how, in Miami we get hurricanes. Sometimes we end up in a storm on the bike. No matter what happened, these guys, and they happen to be all men, formed a bubble around me. They protected me from the wind, to in front, to on the side, to behind me. One behind me, actually. It did not matter. They held their line. They made sure I got safely to the end of the ride, and because of that, I didn't let go. It didn't matter how hard the ride got. Because I had that bubble, because I knew without a shadow of a doubt, these guys would not move from their line, I was able to stay there, grow, and excel. But then it got to a point where I wanted to come out of the bubble. I was so confident now in my skills on the bike. I was ready. I was ready to jump out into the front. They welcomed that. So when I got to the front, I loved it. And can you imagine, once the mission was set into my heart, once I saw the disparities in cycling, I had that same confidence to step out into the unknown and create Level Up Cycling Movement, create Chocolate Pedals, create everything that I did because I had that team of men who stood around me and supported every single thing that I did. I had one request for them: have my back. Have my back. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know how the industry will respond to me. I don't know if it will work. I don't know if it will make sense. I just know I have a mission in my heart that I will put everything I have behind, have my back. And they said, Erica, we got you. And all this time later, you see Chocolate Pedals, Level Up Cycling Movement, the huge impact we've been able to have is because I'm a product of that bubble and was able to take that out into cycling as a whole. So I'm gonna encourage each of you, especially men, and a lot of you ask this question: how do we get more women involved in our bike club? How do we get more women to come out to the track? How do we get more women to come out and train? I think the better question is, how do I support one woman? Because from that one woman, she will go on a mission to get the rest of the women. Another question is, can you be part of a bubble? Can you create a bubble for her in this space that's very new to us as she launch any and all things she could conceive in her mind? For me, I was told, I'm spiritual, for me, I was told I would create something ears haven't seen and ears haven't heard, eyes haven't seen. And every time I got that vision, I knew I had my team to back me up, and I went all the way in. And every time the dots connected, every single time the dots connected. So again, I encourage you to support women, support their creative minds, support their mission. Thank you.